here in the beautiful Singapore at Consensus with Zilliqa. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yes. What's your name and position?
I'm Xinshu, the CEO of Zilliqa.
Zilliqa, I mean, it's quite a known name. Is Zilliqa the Ethereum killer or not?
You know, as I say, we don't want to kill anyone, so we want to provide a more viable platform for people to build high throughput and high security applications on the blockchain.
Is it more secure than for instance Ethereum? I mean.
So if you look at the smart contract aspect of it, you know, we got several incidents in the past. You know, we had the DAO hack and we had the wallet incidents last year. So sometimes people's money got lost or frozen. So when we look at this problem, we think there is actually a strong need of a more secure smart contract language. So that's why we designed Zilla. It's our smart contract language, which is, you know, much more secure in terms of structure. And then on the other hand, once you program in Zilla, you can actually write mathematical proofs to get a guarantee that certain properties will always hold for smart contracts, you know, whatever inputs they may take during the runtime.
All right. And what are the next plans for Zilliqa? I heard the smart contracts, eh? I mean, that's the new thing.
Yes, the smart contract is actually already rolled out on our testnet, and we are sort of trying to finish the last batch of features of Zilliqa before we would launch our mainnet, maybe around the end of the year. And we are going to do a lot of, you know, testing and third-party external security audits, and we are going to, you know, sort of finalize some of the final parameters of the gas mechanism before we launch the mainnet.
All right, thanks. And what are actually the challenges? I mean, one of the biggest is, of course, scalability. I mean, of the network at the moment.
I mean, if you look at building a really viable blockchain platform, I would say it's full of challenges. You have scalability to begin with. You have security, we just discussed briefly. You have privacy. You also have, you know, governance. And sometimes you may also run into regulatory challenges. So because you are not just providing a production, you are providing an enabling platform. So that's why you have different challenges. These challenges definitely cannot be solved alone by one project, Zilliqa. So we picked some of the problems. We think we have a technical edge in solving them sort of faster. Number one is scalability, number two is security, number three, you know, is something we would call excessive energy consumption with proof of work. So that's also something we tackle directly.
And some of these projects, they focus on interoperability. I mean, is it also, for instance, one chain is or other? I mean, is it also a focus for Zilliqa to be interoperable within the chains?
Yeah, I would say interoperability is, you know, one of the biggest issues we have to solve, because unless we only have one or two chains, which I don't think will happen in any near future, we'll have several blockchain platforms. And how can these different blockchain platforms work very well and very efficiently all together? So that's, you know, this issue of interoperability. Very honestly speaking, we don't have sort of the energy to focus on this particular issue this year. But this is definitely something we are going to look at very carefully and very closely next year onwards.
If you look at the market, we now in a very bearish sentiment. Can you say that Zilliqa as a coin is it undervalued now, or if you look at the price? Or?
You know, that's not really something we would focus on, because we think anything associated with value of Zilliqa has to be sort of proven in terms of adoption. So that means as a platform, we need to enable decentralized applications to be built. That's one. And two is some of these applications on Zilliqa are going to make profits as, you know, profitable businesses. So when that happens, I think people will have a sort of more objective and a more justifiable sense of the value of Zilliqa.
So for the longer term, it's all about perseverance, resilient platforms. I mean, on the longer term. Right. I mean, we're still in the beginning, isn't it? I mean,
yes. And you know, also the vibrancy of the platform in terms of enabling a new ecosystem of fast and secure decentralized applications.
Where do you see the industry right now? I mean, we're still in a very early phase, isn't it? I mean,
it's very early stage. there are many things that need to be done before we can see mass adoption, in terms of the technology, in terms of accessibility, and in terms of, getting people's thoughts clear on what kind of use cases that blockchains can really help. So all these things have to be sorted out, I think.
Yeah. But it's very exciting, I think, also for you personally. It's a very exciting times, isn't it? I mean,
of course, we are sort of rewriting the history in a sense.
Yeah. Internet 3.0. It's
exactly.
All right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if people, maybe you can pitch for in a few sentences the project Zilliqa, maybe also to private investors like who want to invest in Zilliqa.
So at Zilliqa, we definitely believe in the power of decentralization. We want to become the, a key enabling factor for people's life. So to make people's life much easier when they want to develop, high throughput dApps and make sure these dApps can run securely. So that's our vision, and that's something we work on every day. If you believe in Zilliqa, you can support Zilliqa in various ways. You can even join the team as a full-time person, or you can contribute different ideas and even code as a community contributor. So we look forward to working closely with everyone along this journey.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All the best.